The morning everything changed for Cole Ramirez started with hunger, noise, and a headache. He pushed open the glass door of the roadside diner with his shoulder, boots heavy from the long night ride. The bell above the door rang loud in the quiet room. A few truckers sat at the counter, a couple of locals in a booth, and the TV in the corner showed muted news with bright red headlines. Cole's stomach growled so loud he felt it in his ribs. He had been on the road with his club until almost sunrise. They had handled a problem in another town, helped a stranded family with a broken-down car, and then rode back down the highway with the cold wind cutting through his leather jacket. Now all he wanted was hot coffee, eggs, and maybe 10 minutes without someone needing something from him. He pulled off his gloves, slipped them into his belt, and scanned the room out of habit. He noticed the kid before he noticed the smell of bacon. The boy stood outside the window, half hidden behind the parked cars. His clothes were dirty. The sleeves of his hoodie were too short. His hair was messy, like he had slept with his head against a wall. He stared through the glass, eyes fixed on the plates of food. He looked frozen in place, like moving closer might get him in trouble. Cole stopped mid-step. The waitress, a woman in her 40s with tired eyes and a name tag that said Shelley, lifted her chin toward an empty booth. "Morning, Cole. You look like hell," she said. "Feels worse than it looks," he answered, but his eyes stayed on the kid at the window. Cole turned his head slightly. The boy flinched and stepped back, trying to hide behind the frame of the window. He pretended to look at the parking lot, but his gaze kept sliding back to the plates inside. Cole knew that look. He had worn that look at 12 years old, standing outside a bakery in a bad neighborhood, hoping someone would drop something on the ground. He walked to the booth, but didn't sit. "Shelley," he called. "Yeah?" she said, grabbing a coffee pot. "That kid outside, you know him?" She glanced toward the window, then shrugged. "Seen him hanging around the last few days," she said. "Doesn't bother anyone. Just stares. Probably trouble, but he looks more scared than dangerous." "Does he ask for food?" "No, just watches. Cops told him to move along yesterday, he did. Then he came back." Cole looked at the menu, then back at the boy. The kid lifted his eyes for half a second, and their gazes locked through the glass. There it was. An empty, tired hunger that had nothing to do with just food. "Get me the breakfast special," Cole said. "Double the eggs. Extra toast." "You got it," Shelley said, pouring his coffee. "You want your usual bacon? And bring a plate for him too," Cole cut in. "Same thing. Whatever it costs, put it on my tab." Shelley's eyebrows went up. "You sure?" "Yeah. And tell him to come inside. He's freezing out there." She looked again at the boy, then gave a small nod. "All right, tough guy with a soft side," she muttered. "I'll try." Cole finally sat down. The vinyl seat squeaked under his weight. He wrapped his hands around the mug of coffee, letting the heat soak into his fingers. Outside, the boy hesitated when Shelley opened the door and waved him in. The kid shook his head at first, like he didn't deserve it, like he had already learned to refuse anything that might come with a price. Shelley said something gently. The boy glanced at Cole, at the patch on his biker vest, at the tattoos crawling over his arms. Then he stepped inside. The bell rang again as the door closed behind him. The cold air followed him in. For a second, the diner went a little quieter. A trucker at the counter glanced over his shoulder. A couple in the corner lowered their voices. Everyone saw the dirty hoodie, the worn sneakers, the thin frame. The kid walked like someone who expected to be kicked out at any moment. "Hey," Cole called, raising a hand. "Over here." The boy stopped, like he wasn't sure if Cole was calling him or someone behind him. When he realized it was him, he approached the booth slowly, eyes fixed on the table. "You can sit," Cole said. "The seat won't bite." The boy slid into the booth opposite him, pressing his back against the wall, leaving a careful space between his body and the edge of the seat, as if ready to run. Up close, he looked even younger. Maybe 11. Maybe 12. His face was thin, but his eyes were sharp, too alert for his age. "What's your name?" Cole asked. The boy hesitated. "Ethan," he said finally, voice quiet but clear. All right, Ethan, I'm Cole. The boy's eyes flicked to Cole's vest. The club patch stood out on the back, a skull over crossed pistons. The name of the motorcycle club curved over it. On the front, smaller patches showed things like vice president and the name of their town. You're a biker, Ethan said, like it was dangerous to say it out loud. Last time I checked, Cole answered. Shelley arrived with the plates. She set a full breakfast in front of Cole and another in front of Ethan. Eggs, bacon, toast, hash browns. She added a glass of water for the boy and gave Cole a look that said, "You better know what you're doing." Ethan stared at the food. His shoulders tensed like he was waiting for someone to snatch the plate away. "You can eat," Cole said. "It's not a trick." Ethan's fingers trembled as he picked up the fork. He took a small bite at first, like he was testing if this was real. Then hunger took over, and he started eating faster, trying to stay polite but failing a little. "Slow down," Cole said. "Food's not going anywhere." Ethan forced himself to slow. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, then stopped halfway, noticing the napkin and using it instead. "You from around here?" Cole asked. The boy swallowed and nodded. "Kind of." "That's not an answer." Ethan took another bite, buying time. "I've been in a lot of places," he said. "But, yeah, I know this town." "Where are your parents?" Cole asked. The boy's hand tightened around the fork. The muscles in his jaw flexed. "They're busy," he said. "Busy," Cole repeated. "Too busy to feed you?" Ethan's eyes flashed for a second. There was pain there and something like anger, but he locked it down fast. "I can take care of myself," the boy said. "I just didn't have money this morning." Cole studied him. His hoodie wasn't from a discount store. It was expensive, or at least it had been when it was new. Under the dirt and stains, the fabric looked good quality. His sneakers were worn, but not cheap. This kid didn't look like someone che sempre viveu na rua. He looked like someone who had fallen from somewhere alto. "What are you doing hanging around diners alone?" Cole asked. "You got school?" "I'm not going today," Ethan said. "Why not?" He shrugged. "Too much noise there." Cole frowned. "Noise?" "People talking," Ethan said. "Teachers pretending everything is normal. It's loud." He said normal, like it was a lie. The TV in the corner changed to a political segment, but the volume stayed muted. A familiar face appeared on the screen for a second, a smiling man in a suit, shaking hands with supporters, standing at a podium with flags behind him. Ethan's eyes flicked to the TV and back down to his plate so fast most people wouldn't have noticed. But Cole did. He filed that reaction away in his mind. "You in trouble, Ethan?" Cole asked quietly. The boy paused. For a moment, he looked like he might say yes. His throat worked as he swallowed, not just food but words he was forcing back down. "I'm just hungry," he said. "That's all." There it was again. The careful answer that wasn't really an answer. "Hungry is something we can fix," Cole said. "The rest? You sure you're okay?" Ethan pushed the last piece of bacon around his plate. "You don't even know me," he said. "You don't have to ask that." "Maybe I don't have to," Cole said. "But I am." The boy lifted his eyes, searching Cole's face for sarcasm, for some hidden joke at his expense. He didn't find anything. He seemed confused by that. "You're not like they say," Ethan murmured. "Who's they?" Cole asked. "People," the boy said, "on TV, at school, at home. They say bikers are dangerous, dirty, criminals, that you hurt people." Cole leaned back. "Some bikers hurt people," he said. "Some cops hurt people. Some men in suits hurt people. Some don't. Depends on the man, not the vest." Ethan's gaze shifted toward the TV again. The man in the suit was still there, smiling, pointing at something off camera. Even without sound, the image screamed control and confidence. "Yeah," the boy said quietly. "Depends on the man." There was something in his tone. A weight, like he was thinking of someone Especifico. Shelley came by with the coffee pot. You want a refill? She asked Cole. Yeah, he said, pushing his cup toward her. She looked at Ethan's empty plate and softened a little. You want anything else, honey? She asked the boy. Ethan shook his head. No, thank you, he said, polite despite everything. It was perfect. You let this one know if you need more, she said, nodding toward Cole. He eats like a bear, but sometimes remembers other people exist. Ethan gave a small, brief smile. It made him look younger, and for a second the tired lines around his eyes faded. Then the smile disappeared. He glanced at the window, then at the clock on the wall. I should go, he said. You got somewhere to be? Cole asked. Yeah, Ethan said. I can't stay too long in one place. The way he said it sounded practiced, like something he had told himself many times. You running from something? Cole asked. Ethan pushed away from the table. He kept his eyes on the door. Sometimes it's safer to move than to stay, he said. Thank you for the food. He stood up so fast the napkin fell from his lap to the floor. He didn't reach for it. His shoulders had tensed again like they had when Shelley first called him in. Wait, Cole said. At least, Ethan backed away a step. Don't follow me, he blurted out. Please, that makes it worse. Worse for who? Cole asked. For you, Ethan said. The words were simple, más sinceras. He believed that. Then he turned and walked toward the door. His steps were quick, but not a run. He had learned how to leave without drawing too much attention. The bell over the door chimed as he slipped out. Cold air rushed in for a moment, then was gone. Cole watched him cross the parking lot. The boy kept close to the parked cars, never staying in the open for long. He looked over his shoulder twice. He disappeared around the side of the building. Cole sat there in silence for a few seconds. The food in front of him suddenly felt heavier. He reached for his coffee. As he moved his hand, his boot brushed against something under the table. He frowned and looked down. A small card lay on the floor, half under his seat. It must have fallen when Ethan stood up. Cole bent down and picked it up. It wasn't a cheap card. The paper was thick, the print clean and professional. At the top there was a logo he recognized from campaign signs all over town and from the TV in the corner. An eagle over a stylized flag. Below the logo, in bold letters, was a name he had heard 1,000 times in speeches and news reports. Senator Richard Hawkins. Under that, in smaller font, Private Access, Family and Staff Only. And near the bottom, faded but still visible, there was a handwritten name in blue ink. Ethan. Cole's fingers closed around the card. He turned his head slowly toward the TV. The segment had changed, but he knew that face, that name, that smile that never reached the eyes. Senator Richard Hawkins, the man who loved to talk about law and order, who called bikers a plague on our communities in one of his last speeches. Cole looked back at the door where the boy had left. The kid who just ate his breakfast, who tried not to shake, who said people on TV talked about bikers like they were monsters, had just dropped a family access card to one of the most powerful men in the state. His father. Cole's jaw tightened. He slipped the card into an inside pocket of his vest, close to his chest where it could not be seen. Outside, a motorcycle roared past on the highway. Inside, the TV kept playing muted news about important men in suits. Cole stared at the door Ethan had walked through, and a single thought pushed past his fatigue. If that boy was really the senator's son, and he was out here alone, hungry and scared, then something in that perfect political picture was very, very wrong. And whether he liked it or not, a biker who had only wanted breakfast was now holding a piece of that secret in his hands. Cole didn't leave the diner immediately. He sat there for a moment, staring at the family access card in his hand. The noise of clinking dishes and low conversations faded into the background. The muted TV on the wall kept shifting through news segments, but none of it registered. He hadn't planned to get involved in anything today. He hadn't planned to talk to anyone. He definitely hadn't planned to feed a kid who looked like he'd crawled out of a storm drain. He just wanted breakfast. But life didn't care what he wanted. Cole slipped the card into the inside pocket of his vest, paid the bill, thanked Shelley, and stepped out into the cold morning air. The wind cut across the parking lot sharp enough to sting, but his mind was somewhere else entirely. He scanned the area, out of habit, not hope. Ethan was already gone. The boy had vanished the same quiet way he had appeared. Cole mounted his motorcycle, the engine rumbling beneath him, but he didn't leave instantly. He looked back at the diner window. The boy's reflection still felt fresh there, like a ghost he wasn't ready to forget. Something was wrong, deeply wrong, and Cole had the sinking feeling that he had just stepped into the middle of it. The motorcycle club's headquarters sat 15 minutes down the highway, in an old repair shop that the club had rebuilt over the years. The place looked rough on the outside: metal walls, old signs, flags, oil stains. But to those who knew better, it was home. Cole parked next to the president's bike. Music echoed faintly through the building, mixed with the sound of tools and laughter. The smell of gasoline and burnt metal always filled the air. Ryder Brooks, the club's president, was hunched over a metal table wiping grease off a motor part when Cole walked in. "Look who dragged himself back," Ryder said without looking up. "Thought you got swallowed by the highway." Cole dropped his gloves on the counter. "I ran into something unexpected." "With who? A truck? Breakfast? You look like someone punched you in the brain." Cole didn't smile. Ryder noticed instantly. "You all right?" Ryder asked, his expression tightening. "I met a kid at the diner," Cole said. "He was starving. I shared my meal with him." Ryder finally turned fully toward him. "You?" he asked. "Sharing food? That's a historic event." "I'm not joking," Cole said. Now Ryder really paid attention. "What happened?" Cole reached into his vest and pulled out the access card. He set it on the table. Ryder picked it up, eyebrows lifting as he read. "Family access. Senator Richard Hawkins." Ryder looked up sharply. "That guy hates us. He calls clubs like ours a threat to society every time he gets a microphone." Cole nodded. "Yeah. And look at the name written on the back." Ryder flipped the card over. The handwritten letters were clear. "Ethan. You're telling me you shared your breakfast with the senator's son?" Ryder asked, stunned. "I didn't know," Cole replied. "The kid didn't say a thing." Ryder leaned back. "And he was alone?" "Completely alone," Cole said. "Not just hungry, scared." Tank, one of the biggest bikers in the room, turned from where he was working on a motorcycle part. "A politician's kid wandering around hungry?" Tank snorted. "That sounds like a mess waiting to explode." "This might be serious," Ryder said sharply. Cole crossed his arms. That boy wasn't just skipping school, he acted like someone was after him. Ryder rubbed a hand over his jaw. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" he asked quietly. "I'm thinking that kid doesn't look like someone who comes from a loving home," Cole said. "And he definitely didn't act like the son of a powerful man." Ryder let out a slow breath. "If the senator finds out his kid was with someone from our club, he'll twist the story however he wants." "I didn't do anything wrong," Cole said. "I just gave him food." "Doesn't matter," Ryder said. "Men like Hawkins only need a little smoke to build a fire." Cole looked at the card again. His instincts were telling him something he didn't want to accept. "I don't think the kid went hungry because he got lost," Cole said. "I think he left on purpose." "Why?" Ryder asked. "That's what I want to find out," Cole answered. Before Ryder could reply, Logan rushed through the doorway, out of breath. "We've got a problem," Logan said. "Someone's taking pictures outside." Cole straightened instantly. "What?" "A black sedan," Logan said. "Tinted windows. Guy stepped out, took pictures of our bikes, the building, everything, then got back inside and parked." He swallowed. "He's still there." Ryder stood up slowly. "Someone's checking if the kid came here," he said. Cole's stomach tightened. "He didn't follow me," Cole said. "I would have noticed." "You sure?" Ryder asked. Cole hesitated, and that hesitation was enough. Tank stood, cracking his knuckles. "Want me to go handle it?" No, Ryder said. No confrontation, not yet. Cole moved toward the front door and cracked it open just enough to look outside. There it was. A black car. Engine running. Windows too dark to see inside. The kind of car no one trusts. Cole closed the door slowly. That kid wasn't lying, he said. Someone really is watching him. Ryder looked grim. Someone might think the boy talked to you. Maybe he did, Cole said quietly. Logan suddenly appeared again, urgency all over his face. You guys need to see this, he said. Now. They hurried to the old TV mounted to the wall. Logan turned up the volume. A live news broadcast filled the room. At the podium stood Senator Richard Hawkins. Flawless suit, polished voice, cameras flashing all around him. Cole felt the hair rise on the back of his neck. Hawkins began speaking. My son Ethan is missing, and we fear he has been influenced or lured by dangerous individuals. Cole froze. On the screen, a security photo popped up, grainy but clear enough. It showed the outside of the diner. A small figure, Ethan, standing near the door, and next to him, a broad-shouldered man in a biker vest. Ryder's jaw locked. Tank swore under his breath. Logan looked at Cole with wide eyes. Hawkins continued, If anyone has seen my son near criminal groups or gang members, I am urging you to report it immediately. I will not rest until he is found. Cole felt the air leave his lungs. This wasn't an alert. This wasn't a plea. This was an accusation. A setup. Ryder muted the TV. So, he said slowly, the senator just put a target on our backs. Cole didn't look away from the screen. He's not looking for his son, Cole said. He's looking for someone to blame. Ryder stared at him. What are you going to do? Cole tightened his jaw. Find the kid before someone else does. Because now, Ethan wasn't just a hungry boy. He was a hunted one. And Cole had no intention of letting him face that alone. The moment the news broadcast ended, Cole's decision was already made. He didn't need a vote, didn't need a plan, didn't need time to think. He grabbed his helmet and headed for the door. Ryder followed him. Where are you going? To find him, Cole said. He won't go home on his own, not now. Ryder stepped in front of him, blocking the exit. Cole, think. The whole town just saw that broadcast. If the wrong people spot you, they'll assume you took him. Then I move faster than them, Cole said, pushing past him. Cole. But Cole didn't stop. He stepped outside and scanned the parking lot once. The black sedan was gone. That only made things worse. He started the bike. The engine roared, shaking the air around him. In seconds, he was already out on the highway. He retraced the route from earlier without even thinking about it. Back to the diner. Back to the place Ethan had last appeared. Back to the only spot the boy might feel safe enough to return to. The diner looked exactly the same as when he left. Quiet, unchanged, like nothing in the world had happened. But something had. Cole parked his bike, walked inside, and went straight to Shelley. Did the kid come back? He asked. Shelley frowned. No. Haven't seen him since he left with your leftovers. I need to check behind the diner, Cole said. Cole? Shelley lowered her voice. You didn't kidnap that boy, right? No, Cole said sharply. But someone else might be trying to. Shelley stared at him for a second, then nodded and pointed toward the back exit. Cole pushed through the kitchen door and stepped into the alley behind the diner. Trash bins lined the wall and the concrete ground was damp with the morning's condensation. A stray cat bolted under a fence as he walked. At first, the place looked empty. Then he saw it, small footprints in the dust, ending at a crate stacked against the wall. He knelt beside the crate. Behind it, curled into a tight ball with his knees to his chest, was Ethan. His hoodie was pulled over his head, his arms wrapped tightly around his body. His eyes were open, but he wasn't moving. He looked exhausted, terrified, and completely alone. Ethan, Cole said softly. The boy flinched before realizing who it was. His breathing steadied just enough to speak. You came back, Ethan whispered. I told you I would, Cole answered. Why are you hiding here? Ethan looked down. It's quiet. No one bothers me here. You saw the news? Cole asked. The boy's shoulders tightened. Of course I saw it. He always does this. Your father? Ethan didn't answer. He didn't need to. Cole sat on the ground beside him. Ethan? He's saying you're missing. I'm not missing, Ethan said. I left. Why? The boy lifted his eyes just enough for Cole to see the truth behind them. Because it's safer on the street than inside that house. Cole froze. He didn't push. He didn't demand details. He just waited. I wasn't supposed to hear anything, Ethan whispered. I wasn't supposed to walk into the wrong room, but I did. Cole kept his voice calm. What room? My father's office. The boy swallowed hard, his voice trembling. He was yelling at someone. And the other man, he didn't sound scared of my father. He sounded angry. He said something about money and a deal and a shipment. What kind of shipment? Cole asked. I don't know, Ethan said quickly. But the way they talked, it wasn't normal. My father said if anything leaked, he'd make sure it disappeared before the press knew. Ethan's voice cracked. He said that, about people. Cole felt a cold pressure in his chest. Did they see you? Not at first, Ethan whispered. But then someone else walked in, one of the security guys. He grabbed me by the arm and dragged me out of the hallway. He told me to stay quiet. He said I didn't see anything. And you ran? Cole asked. Ethan's chin trembled. I've run a lot. Cole breathed in slowly, trying to keep his anger from boiling over. You did the right thing. No, Ethan said, because now he's lying on TV, saying I'm missing, saying people like you took me. Cole leaned forward. Ethan, listen to me. No one in my club is going to hurt you. The boy looked at him with a flicker of doubt. But everyone thinks you're dangerous. Cole shook his head. Dangerous to bad men. Never to kids. Ethan looked at the ground. My father doesn't think that. Cole nodded once. I know. Ethan hesitated, then reached slowly into his hoodie pocket. He pulled out something small, wrapped in an old napkin. He held it against his chest, unsure whether to show it. Ethan, Cole said gently.
What is that? The boy unwrapped it. Inside the napkin was a small recording device. Cole blinked. You recorded something? A little, Ethan said. Not on purpose. I had it with me because I was working on a school project. When I heard shouting, I pressed the button. I didn't even know what it caught until later. Cole didn't touch the device. He let Ethan hold it. Does your father know you have this? Cole asked. Ethan shook his head. No, I hid it. I didn't know what else to do.
Did you tell anyone else? No, Ethan said. You're the first person I said anything to. Cole swallowed hard. That changed everything. Before he could speak, Ethan suddenly grabbed Cole's sleeve. Someone followed you, the boy whispered. Cole frowned. What do you mean? Ethan pointed nervously toward the corner of the alley. Cole stood up slowly and listened. At first, there was nothing. Then, soft footsteps, shifting gravel, the faint sound of a shoe scuffing against metal. Someone was there, watching. Cole lowered his voice. Ethan, stay behind me. The boy pressed himself against the wall. Cole took one step forward, then another. He reached the corner and spun around it fast. The alley was empty, but he knew that silence. He knew that smell of expensive cologne. He knew that type of shadow. Someone had been there, and they had left the moment they realized Cole had noticed. He returned to Ethan. We need to go, he said. Where? Ethan whispered. My club, Cole said. They'll protect you. Ethan shook his head violently. No, if my father finds out I'm with bikers, he'll lose his mind. He'll say you kidnapped me. He already hates you. He hates us no matter what, Cole said. But running alone is worse. Ethan looked torn. If I go with you, you'll be in danger. I already am, Cole said. Doesn't matter. You're coming. For a moment, Ethan didn't move. Then he nodded, small, scared, but trusting. Cole placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. Good, stay close, don't talk to anyone, don't look at anyone, and do not run. Ethan swallowed. Okay. Cole guided him out of the alley. He checked the street twice, then a third time. No black sedans, no men in suits. But the air felt heavy, like danger was just out of sight. They reached the motorcycle. Ethan stopped. I've never been on one, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. You will today, Cole said. He helped Ethan climb on behind him. The boy hesitated before placing his hands around Cole's waist. It's all right, Cole said. Hold tight. Ethan finally gripped him. Cole started the engine. The bike roared to life. And then, across the street, a man stepped out from behind a mailbox, lifting a phone and snapping a picture before ducking away. Cole cursed under his breath. Who was that? Ethan asked, frightened. Someone who shouldn't be here, Cole said. He revved the engine and pulled onto the road before the man could appear again. As they sped away, Ethan held tighter. The boy's voice trembled when he whispered, They're not going to stop looking for me, are they? Cole didn't lie. No, he said. They're not. The road stretched ahead of them and the wind whipped past, but the real storm was behind them and closing in fast. The ride back to the clubhouse was tense from the first mile. Ethan held on to Cole with a grip that was too tight for comfort, but Cole didn't push him away. The boy was shaking every time the bike leaned with the road, and Cole could feel each tremor through his vest. He kept his speed steady, avoiding highways and staying on quieter streets. He checked the mirrors constantly. Every time he saw a black car, his heart kicked harder, expecting tinted windows to roll down with a camera or something worse pointed at them. But no car followed long enough to confirm anything. They pulled into the club's lot 20 minutes later. The metal garage door was open, and several members were inside. The instant the roar of Cole's motorcycle filled the space, everyone turned. Logan stepped forward first. Cole, he began, then froze when he saw the boy behind him. Silence swept across the room. Cole shut off the engine and helped Ethan climb down. The boy's legs were unsteady. He stood so close to Cole he practically hid behind him. Tank whistled low. No way. Ryder walked out from the office, his expression sharp. You brought him here? Ryder said quietly. Cole stood firm. We didn't have a choice. Ethan lowered his head, gripping the sleeve of Cole's vest. Ryder's gaze softened slightly when he looked at the boy, not much but enough to show he understood the reality. Come inside, Ryder said, and shut that door behind you. Logan closed the garage door, sealing the outside world behind a wall of metal. Inside, the air felt thick with caution. A few members stepped closer, but stopped when they saw how tense Ethan was. Cole kept a hand on the boy's shoulder, steadying him. Ryder crossed his arms. Tell us exactly what happened. Cole spoke plainly. He described the alley, the recording device, the shadow watching them, the man taking pictures when they left. He didn't exaggerate a thing. When Cole finished, Ryder exhaled deeply. Tank rubbed his face with both palms. This is bad. It gets worse, Cole said. Show them. Ethan hesitated for a long moment before pulling the small recording device from his pocket. He held it to his chest like it was the only thing keeping him upright. Ryder's expression tightened. Is that what I think it is? Ethan nodded slowly. Cole kept his voice calm. Ethan recorded something in his father's office. He didn't mean to, but he caught part of a conversation. Ryder stepped closer, kneeling slightly to be at eye level with the boy. Ethan, Ryder said carefully, did you hear something illegal? I think so, the boy whispered. They talked about a deal, and money, and making sure problems disappear. I didn't understand everything, but the way they talked, it scared me. Ryder didn't flinch. And your father knows you overheard something? Yes, Ethan said, voice cracking. He acted normal at first, then security grabbed me. They told me to forget it. The next day he was yelling on the phone about risk and timing and reporters. Ethan blinked fast, fighting tears. I'm not safe there. Cole placed his hand lightly on Ethan's back. You're safe here. Tank snorted. Safe? Not with the senator blasting us on every news network. He basically accused us of kidnapping his son. Ryder shot him a warning look. Tank. No, he's right, Cole said. They're already watching. They took pictures of us outside the diner. They'll twist that however they want. Ryder took a slow breath. Cole, he said, voice hardening. Bringing him here puts a target on every one of us. Cole met his eyes. I know. But leaving him alone out there would have been worse. Ethan shrank closer to him. For a moment, Ryder didn't say anything. Then he nodded once. We protect him. Tank threw his hands up. Are you serious? Ryder turned to him. Sit down and shut up. Tank sat. Ryder faced Ethan again. No one is putting you back in a place where you're scared. Not while you're with us. Understand? Ethan nodded, tears threatening again. But the peace lasted only seconds, because Logan rushed in from the back room holding his phone. You all need to see this, he said. Now. He put the phone on speaker. The news anchor's voice filled the room. New developments on the disappearance of Senator Hawkins' son. Authorities have received anonymous reports placing the boy near a known motorcycle gang's clubhouse earlier today. Cole's blood ran cold. Images flashed on the screen, photos taken just minutes before. A blurry shot of Cole's motorcycle. A grainy image of Ethan climbing on. A figure, Cole, blocking the boy protectively. The report continued. Officials urge anyone with information to come forward. The senator fears the boy may be in contact with dangerous individuals. Ethan flinched as if struck. Cole's fists clenched. Tank paced the room. This is insane. They're building a whole story around us. Cole forced himself to stay calm. We knew this would happen. Ryder shut off the phone. We need a plan. If the senator wants to use this kid to bury us, he will. Ethan looked up suddenly, eyes wide with panic. They're going to come here. Cole crouched in front of him. They won't get to you. They always do, Ethan whispered. My father always finds me. Even when I hide. Ryder lowered his voice. Ethan, is your father involved in something dangerous? The boy hesitated. Then he nodded once, trembling. I think so, Ethan said. And I think I heard something I wasn't supposed to hear. They'll do anything to make it go away. The room fell silent. Everything clicked into place. This wasn't a child running away. This wasn't a family problem. This was political, dangerous, and much bigger than all of them. Ryder looked at Cole. You pulled a thread that's unraveling the wrong sweater. Too late now, Cole said. Logan stepped toward them. Guys, someone just pulled into the parking lot. Everyone froze. Who? Ryder asked. Logan checked the security camera again, eyes widening. Black SUV, tinted windows. Cole's heart kicked hard. Ethan grabbed Cole's arm. It's them. Ryder looked at his crew. Positions. No one draws unless they do first. Cole turned to Ethan. You stay behind me. Don't move. The boy nodded, shaking. The garage door rattled from the outside. One loud knock, then a voice. Open up. We need to talk. Cole stepped forward, jaw locked. This was the line. Once he crossed it, nothing in their lives would ever be the same. The pounding on the garage door echoed through the clubhouse like a warning bell. Bam! 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 Open! Now! Cole didn't blink. He stepped forward, positioning himself directly between Ethan and the door. Behind him, Ethan clung to the back of Cole's vest with small shaking hands. Ryder motioned silently to the others. Tank moved toward the left wall. Logan took the right side, and two other members quietly positioned themselves behind the workbenches where tools were scattered. No one pulled a weapon, but every man in that room was ready if they had to. Ryder raised his voice. "Identify yourselves." A pause. Then a man spoke, voice crisp, controlled, far too professional. "State Security Division, open the door or we open it ourselves." Cole felt Ethan's grip tighten. "It's them," Ethan whispered. "The ones who work for my father." Ryder's jaw tensed. "Everyone stay calm." Cole leaned down just enough for Ethan to hear him. "Stay close, they're not taking you." Ethan nodded shakily, pressing himself into Cole's back. Ryder signaled to Logan, who hit the switch on the wall. The garage door lifted slowly, metal rattling loudly as cold air rushed in. The sunlight hit the room in a hard glare. Outside, a black SUV sat idling. 3 men in dark suits stood in a straight line. Their posture was identical, rigid, military-like, but their expressions were worse. Cold, focused, prepared. The man in the middle stepped forward. He didn't look at Cole. He looked directly at Ethan. "There you are," the man said. "Your father is very worried." Ethan stumbled back, fear flooding his face. Cole took a step forward, blocking him completely. "You're not taking him," Cole said. The man finally turned his gaze to Cole. "According to the broadcast you surely saw, Senator Hawkins has made it clear the boy is missing, and anyone preventing his return is obstructing a state investigation." Cole didn't flinch. "He isn't missing. He ran. That boy belongs with his father," the man said. Ethan's voice broke through, trembling but loud enough to hear. "No, I told you already. I'm not going with you." The man's expression didn't change at all. No surprise, no concern. "You don't get to decide that." Cole moved again, fully shielding Ethan. "You need a warrant," Cole said. The man gave a dry laugh. "We don't need anything. This is a family matter." "No," Cole said. "Family matters don't send armed men to drag a child out of hiding." Behind Cole, Ethan grabbed the edge of his vest harder. The man's smile faded. "Move aside." "No," Cole said. Tank stepped forward, voice low but deadly serious. "You're on private property. You don't order anyone here." Ryder lifted a hand, silently commanding calm. Then he addressed the men at the door. "You want to talk? We talk. But the kid stays where he is." The suited man's eyes hardened. "We can do this the easy way or the difficult way." Cole leaned forward just enough for the man to see the threat in his eyes. "You try the difficult way," Cole said, "and you won't like what happens." For the first time, a flicker of irritation broke through the man's expression. He raised his hand, signaling the 2 men behind him. They stepped forward. Ryder spoke before anyone else moved. "You cross this line," he said, pointing toward the ground at the threshold of the garage, "and it becomes trespassing." The leader stopped, calculated, measured. He didn't want a public incident. He reached into his jacket slowly, everyone tensed. But he only pulled out a card, white, embossed, official, and held it out. "When you come to your senses," the man said, "call this number. Tell us where to pick up the boy. If you don't—" He glanced meaningfully at Ethan. "We'll find him anyway." He dropped the card on the ground and stepped back. The SUV doors opened. The 3 men climbed inside. The vehicle pulled away without another word, disappearing down the road. Silence fell again inside the clubhouse. Logan finally spoke. "We're so screwed." Ryder ignored him. He turned to Ethan. "They're not trusted men, are they?" Ethan shook his head quickly. "No, they work for my father. Not the state, not the police. Just him." Cole crouched in front of the boy. "Ethan, did you record anything else? Not just voices. Anything that shows what your father is doing?" Ethan hesitated, eyes darting nervously. I didn't mean to," he said. "I was just scared." "Show us," Ryder said gently. Ethan reached into his pocket again. He pulled out the small recorder and handed it to Cole. Cole pressed play, a burst of static. Then voices. One was the senator's, calm, commanding, arrogant. I don't care about the cost. You make sure nothing leaks. Nothing. If anyone talks, they disappear before the press knows a word. A second voice, unfamiliar, answered. If the shipment is compromised, it won't be compromised. If the workers talk, they won't. Then footsteps. A door opening. The recording ended. Tank swore under his breath. That's bad. Ryder paced slowly. We don't know the full context, but it's enough to make him desperate. Ethan's voice shook as he spoke. There's more. Everyone turned. Ethan swallowed hard. I didn't mean to, but when security grabbed me, I dropped the recorder. I think it picked up part of something else. Cole pressed the next file. Another short clip played. This time the voice wasn't the senator's. It was his head of security, the one Ethan said dragged him away. Move the boxes tonight. The less the senator knows, the easier it is to deny later. We'll send the crew through the old service tunnel. Once done, we close it permanently. Ryder stopped pacing. Service tunnel? Cole frowned. What boxes? Ethan hugged himself, breathing fast. I don't know. I don't want to know. But I heard them talking about a tunnel under the old courthouse. And something about people who won't be missed. Ryder looked at Cole. We're not dealing with shady politicians, we're dealing with criminals hiding behind office doors. Cole nodded grimly. And they're willing to hurt a kid to keep it hidden. Ryder then turned to everyone. We need to get that recording somewhere safe, someone trustworthy, not local police, not anyone connected to Hawkins. Logan raised a hand. I know a federal contact, clean, quiet, doesn't like Hawkins, could get this in the right hands. Ryder considered. Could we trust him? More than anyone else in this town, Logan said. Before they could plan further, the security monitor on the wall beeped. Everyone jumped. Cole rushed to the screen. A black Honda sedan had parked across the street. A man stepped out and sat on a bench, pretending to check his phone, but his eyes kept drifting toward the clubhouse. Cole's pulse thudded. They're watching us, he said. They're not leaving. Ryder didn't panic. He spoke with calm precision. We can't stay here, not with Ethan, not with that recording. We need to move. Where? Tank asked. A safe place outside town, Ryder said. Somewhere we control. Cole nodded. The old steel yard. Ryder agreed. Exactly. Logan grabbed a backpack. Give me the drive, I'll take the recorder and head out separately. If they follow me, you'll have a clean escape. Cole shook his head. They'll go for me first. They already saw me with Ethan. Ethan tugged on Cole's vest, voice cracking. Please don't split up. We won't, Cole said. Not all the way. Ryder gathered the crew with short, efficient orders. Tank, block the back street with the truck. Logan, take the side road on your bike. Cole, take Ethan and ride straight through the canyon. We'll meet at the steel yard. Cole turned to Ethan. You ready? He asked. The boy's lip trembled, but he nodded. If I don't go, they'll take me. Cole put a hand on his shoulder. Nobody's taking you. Ryder opened the back garage door. Move. The moment Cole and Ethan stepped outside, the man on the bench stood up. Not fast, not slow, just enough to send a message. He lifted his phone, snapping a picture. Cole tightened his grip on Ethan's arm. Don't look back, Cole whispered. Just run with me. They sprinted toward the bike. Behind them, the man made a call. A black SUV turned the corner. Cole swore under his breath. They found us. He shoved the helmet onto Ethan's head, snapped it in place, and threw his leg over the motorcycle. Hold on tight. Ethan wrapped his arms around Cole's waist. The SUV accelerated. Cole revved the engine and shot out of the lot at full speed just as the SUV lurched forward. Ethan screamed and buried his head against Cole's back. They tore down the street, wind slamming against them, engines roaring. Cole didn't look back. He didn't have to. He could hear the SUV chasing them, and he knew this was only the beginning. The chase started the moment Cole's bike hit the street. The SUV surged forward behind them, engine roaring like a warning. Tires screeched. People on the sidewalk jumped out of the way. Ethan clung to Cole's waist with all the strength he had left. "Cole, they're right behind us," Ethan yelled through the helmet. "I know," Cole shouted back. He leaned hard into a turn, cutting through a narrow side road between two small stores. The bike rattled over uneven asphalt, but Cole kept it steady. The SUV followed, clipping the corner of a mailbox and smashing it in half. Ethan looked over his shoulder and gasped, "There's another one." A second SUV approached from the cross street, trying to intercept them. "Hold tight," Cole warned. He gunned the engine. The bike shot forward like a slingshot. The SUV swerved but overshot the turn, crashing into a newspaper stand. Cole didn't look back. He took another sharp turn into the canyon road, a narrow, winding passage cutting through the rocky outskirts of town. The road was dangerous, barely big enough for two cars, but that was exactly why Cole chose it. SUVs couldn't corner fast. Bikes could. The wind blasted against them. Ethan pressed himself into Cole's back, shaking uncontrollably. "One more mile," Cole said. "Just one." But the SUVs didn't give up. They barreled down the canyon road, scraping guardrails, engines screaming. Cole pushed the bike harder. Ethan squeezed his waist. "Cole, I'm scared." Cole's voice was steady. "I've got you. I'm not letting anyone take you." The canyon curved sharply. Cole leaned the bike so far the foot peg scraped the ground, sparks flying. They shot around the bend. One SUV tried to follow but slid, spinning halfway before regaining control. "Hang on!" Cole accelerated out of the canyon's final turn. And ahead, the abandoned steel yard rose like a jagged skeleton of metal beams and rust, the perfect place to disappear. Cole sped through the open gate. The old steel yard was massive, warehouse ruins, storage sheds, and long aisles of metal stacks. He parked behind a fallen beam and helped Ethan climb off. The boy's hands shook as he removed the helmet. His face was pale, but his eyes were sharp. Are they coming?" "Yes," Cole said. "But we're not alone." Two motorcycles thundered into the yard from the opposite direction, Ryder and Tank. Moments later, Logan slid in from the far side, dust rising behind his bike. He held a small black backpack, the recorder inside. "They followed me for a minute," Logan said, "but I lost them near the river." Tank climbed off his bike, breathing hard. "What do we do now?" Before anyone could answer, the sound of engines echoed in the distance. Ethan's breath hitched. "They're here." Ryder didn't waste time. "Positions, everyone spread out." Cole grabbed Ethan's wrist. "Stay behind me. Don't move unless I tell you." Ethan nodded. The first SUV burst through the steel yard gate, smashing it off its hinges. Dust exploded around it. The second SUV pulled in behind it. Doors opened. 6 men in suits stepped out. No badges, no hesitation, no negotiation. The head of security, the same one from the senator's mansion, walked forward, calm and cold. "There's nowhere to run," he said. "Hand the boy over." Ryder stepped beside Cole. "He's not going anywhere with you." The head of security tilted his head. "This doesn't concern you. Move aside." "It concerns anyone who sees a kid being hunted," Ryder said. The man's expression didn't change. "This child has information that could destroy people who have worked very hard for their positions. If you think we will let you hide him..." Cole cut him off. "He's not yours to take." "You can't win this," the man replied. "His father owns half this state." Ethan stepped forward before Cole could stop him. "No," Ethan said. "He owns lies. He owns fear. But he doesn't own me." The man's eyes narrowed. "You don't understand the consequences of disobedience." "I do," Ethan said. "That's why I left." Cole tugged Ethan back behind him. The man exhaled through his nose. "Very well. Take them." 4 men advanced. Ryder spoke without turning. "No weapons unless they pull first." Tank cracked his neck. "I won't start the fight." "But I'll finish it," Cole muttered. The first suited man reached them. He grabbed for Ethan. Cole hit him first. A punch so clean and sharp it sent the man sprawling across the concrete. Tank tackled another one, slamming him against a steel beam. Ryder blocked a third man with his entire body, shoving him backwards and knocking the wind out of him. Logan rushed forward, swinging a metal bar and catching the fourth attacker in the arm. The steel yard erupted into chaos. Shouts, footsteps pounding, fists hitting flesh, metal echoing through the empty warehouse structures. Ethan crouched behind an overturned crate exactly where Cole told him to stay. Cole fought like a man possessed. Every time someone lunged toward Ethan, Cole intercepted. He swung hard and without hesitation, his punches fueled by the image of the terrified kid hiding in the diner. The head of security watched from a distance, expression unreadable. Finally, he moved. He reached into his jacket. Cole froze for half a second. A gun. "Gun!" Cole shouted. Ryder pushed Tank behind a steel pillar. Logan dragged Ethan behind another crate. Cole lunged at the gunman. The man fired once. The bullet hit a metal beam, ricocheting with a deafening ring. Cole grabbed the gunman's wrist, twisting hard. The gun clattered to the ground. The man elbowed Cole in the ribs, then tried to reach for a backup weapon. Cole didn't let him. He slammed the man against a steel column and pinned him there. The gunman hissed, "You have no idea what you're protecting. This boy is a liability." "He's 12, Cole yelled. "He is in the way," the man snapped. Cole's jaw clenched so hard it hurt. "Say that again." But he didn't get the chance. Because 3 sirens erupted outside the steel yard. Police, multiple vehicles. Red and blue lights sliced through the broken windows. The SUV's men froze. The bikers froze. Ethan's breath caught. Ryder whispered, "Who called them?" Logan shook his head. "Not me." Tank pointed toward the entrance. "Look." The gate slammed open again. Not another SUV. Not more security. A federal sedan. Unmarked, simple, but with government plates. A tall woman stepped out, mid-40s, sharp eyes, badge clipped to her belt. "Everyone stand where you are," she ordered. Hands visible. The suited men instantly backed away, raising their hands. Cole released the security chief and raised his hands as well. The woman approached slowly. "Which one of you is Logan Yates?" she asked. Logan stepped forward cautiously. "Me." "You sent me something," she said. Logan nodded toward the backpack. "It's in there." She signaled another agent who retrieved the recorder. The woman pressed play. The same voices echoed through the steel yard, Hawkins and his associate discussing problems and shipments and making people disappear. The agents exchanged looks. The woman turned toward the suited men. "Put your weapons on the ground," she said. They hesitated, then obeyed. The woman signaled the officers. "Detain all of them. They are operating under false authority and are linked to an open federal investigation." The security chief tried one last time. "You don't know what you're doing. That boy belongs—" The woman cut him off. "He belongs nowhere near you." 2 officers grabbed him and pulled his arms behind his back. Ethan trembled as he watched his father's men being arrested. Cole put a hand on his shoulder. "You're okay," Cole said. "It's over." But Ethan shook his head. "No, not yet. He'll deny everything." The woman approached Ethan with a softened expression. "Ethan Hawkins?" The boy nodded. "I'm Agent Parker," she said. "You're safe now, and everything you recorded is going straight to a protected unit." Ethan swallowed. "What about my father?" Agent Parker's jaw tightened. "He will be questioned. And if the evidence holds, he won't hold office much longer." Ethan's eyes filled with tears, relief mixed with heartbreak. Cole kneeled beside him. "You did the right thing," he said. "You were brave." Ethan wiped his face with his sleeve. "I didn't feel brave." "You were," Cole said. "Bravery isn't about not being scared. It's about doing the right thing even when you are." Ryder stepped beside them. "What happens to him now?" he asked the agent. "He's going into protective custody," Agent Parker said. "A safe home. Far from all this." Ethan's grip tightened on Cole's vest again. Cole looked at the agent. "Can I talk to him alone for a second?" She nodded. Cole crouched in front of Ethan. "You're going to be okay," he said softly. "I don't want to leave," Ethan whispered. "Not without saying thank you." Cole smiled faintly. "You already did." Ethan shook his head. "No. You saved me. All of you did. I thought bikers were the bad guys, but you were the only ones who cared." Cole's throat tightened. He rested a hand on the boy's shoulder. "If you ever need us," Cole said, "you call. Doesn't matter where you are." Ethan nodded, tears running freely now. Agent Parker stepped forward gently. "Ethan, it's time." The boy took a shaky breath and hugged Cole tightly. Cole hugged him back, careful not to crush him but refusing to let him tremble alone. Then Ethan stepped away and walked toward the agent. Before entering the car, Ethan turned back once, staring at the men who had saved him. Tank lifted a hand. Logan nodded. Ryder stood tall. Cole gave him a small, firm nod. Ethan managed a tiny smile. Then he got into the sedan. The car pulled away, escorted by police units. The SUV's men were loaded into other vehicles. The steel yard grew quiet again as engines faded into the distance. Ryder exhaled slowly. "Well, that happened." Tank rubbed his face. "We're all over the news tonight, aren't we?" Logan grinned. "Probably." Cole watched the road long after the cars were gone. Ryder placed a hand on his shoulder. "You okay?" Cole nodded once. "He's safe," Cole said. "That's all that matters." Tank stepped forward. "You think he'll ever come back?" Cole stared at the empty road. "Someday," he said. "Kids don't forget who protected them." Ryder smirked. "And the club? We just changed the public image of bikers in one afternoon." Cole finally allowed himself a breath of relief. "One breakfast," he said quietly. "That's all it took." Ryder looked at him. "What's that supposed to mean?" Cole shrugged lightly. "You never know whose life you change when you share a meal." The crew laughed softly, tired, relieved, still processing everything. They climbed back onto their bikes. The steel yard emptied slowly, engines echoing into the fading afternoon. Cole rode home with a sense of quiet he hadn't felt in years. Behind him, the clubhouse waited. Ahead of him, the future finally felt steady. And somewhere far away, Ethan, once a hungry boy behind a diner window, was safe, protected, and starting over. Because one biker didn't look away, and that changed everything.